From the Riviera Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, it's semifinal action at the EnjoyPool.com 9-Ball Championship. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Riviera Hotel in Vegas. Mitch Lawrence, joined today by Mark Wilson. EnjoyPool.com 9-Ball Championship. It might not sound familiar, but for 7 years it was the BCA Open 9-Ball Championship. And Mark, no matter what name we call it, it's a major event on tour. The players want it badly. And we have two of the all-time great players going after each other today.
Thank you, Mitch. The scouting report for today's match is this. Ralph Souquet is a 9-ball machine. He operates with military precision and is one of the very few players in the world to hold a winning record against Efren Reyes. Efren Reyes, on the other hand, is a creative artist, and he revolutionized the way 9-ball is played. Today's match figures to be very close, but will for sure be entertaining. This is world-class 9-ball.
Fantastic venue here in Las Vegas at the Riviera Hotel and Casino, as it has been for a number of years now. 1999, this tournament, formerly the Billiard Congress of America Open 9-Ball Championship. As we said earlier, now the EnjoyPool.com 9-Ball Championship. And Efren Reyes, the magician at the table, having won the lag for the opening break. And Mark, I don't know, you and I have been excited about this matchup ever since we found out that Efren and Ralph would be playing each other. And we are in for a barn burner.
Well, Mitch, these two guys represent the epitome of the best players in the world from our era. They might not be the best players of all time, but they're certainly the best players of my lifetime. Reyes pocketed a couple balls on the break, and looks like he's presented with a good opening shot.
There goes the two.
You know, something to listen for is the tone of Efren's cue when he hits the ball. He has such a loose grip throughout. You'll hear a very vibrant tone come through the cue.
3 balls on the break, and what a way to start for Efren. Hello.
Well, Efren struggled all week long.
Interesting. As Ralph comes to the table, I'm sure he thought he wouldn't be there this quickly, but we'll give you the rules of the game. It's a race to 7 to move into the finals. They will alternate the break, a 30-second shot clock on the players with 1 extension per rack, and it will be cue ball fouls only. And right away, a huge break for Ralph Souquet.
Ralph is the absolute technician of pool. He prides himself on kind of being a warrior. He trains very diligently. He possesses a great discipline and the German precision he's known for worldwide. As I say that, he's played himself out of position.
The broadcaster's curse.
Excuse me, I was incorrect.
5. Then the 8 and 9 left on the table. And again, after such a big opening break, for Efren not to take advantage and put one on the board. Big 2 balls left now for Ralph Souquet. We'll mention this terrific playing equipment. The waterfall table by Olhausen, Simonis 860 cloth, Super Aramith Pro Ball, the Sardo M5000 tight rack, and Masters chalk provided by Tweet and Fiber. All of it in use. And the Kaiser. Ralph Souquet indeed takes advantage of a mistake by the magician and leads by 1 rack here in Las Vegas. We'll take a look now at a few of our official products here at the EnjoyPool.com 9-Ball Championships. Masters chalk in use all week here in Las Vegas, as is the Sardo Tight Rack M5000 and Super Aramith Pro Balls. The Riviera Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, the site of semifinal action at the EnjoyPool.com 9-Ball Championship. The winner of this semifinal between Efren Reyes and Ralph Souquet gets to play Johnny Archer, waiting undefeated in the final matchup. And this, the 2003 BCA Open 9-Ball champion, Ralph Souquet. He definitely, Mark, has enough knowledge about what it means to win a major championship to be as hungry as he can be right now. Beautiful break. You see the cue ball controlled. Really be rewarded.
Looks like the last remaining ball rolling is going to hook him on the 1. You know, Ralph just dominates in these final matches. Irrespective of the talent level he faces, I've seen him win world championships virtually 11-0 or 11-1.
Ralph will push out. Yep.
Declared a push. Now the question is, you're at such a deficit when you have to push out. You generally push out to a kick or a safe shot. However, your opponent, in this instance, Efren Reyes, knows all these shots as well. Now Ralph is dissatisfied, and I think you're going to see Efren thin the one ball and maybe try to get the cue ball down to the end rail by coming across and allowing the cue ball to come back down table. Looks like Efren's cueing with topspin. Oh, he was able to make it. Ralph had to be disappointed with that.
I think that's why he walked away with the kind of attitude he had.
Both players virtually making the identical mistake of giving up a cheap win to their opponent here early in the match. Efren has struggled all week with his game, Mitch. It's really not the Efren Reyes that we know and love. I mean, it's kind of a player in the twilight of his career that's still can muster up a great match, but struggling a little bit to pocket balls.
Well, he's come up with some big-time wins lately. That is for sure. Biggest money-wise, of course, in 2005, first place in the IPT King of the Hill 8-ball shootout, 200 grand for that one. We're talking about some big money now for Efren Reyes. But this title, he has not won this major championship title. The BCA Open 9-ball has eluded him. He's come in second twice, losing to Johnny Archer once and Tamika Immonen once. So he wants this one. He's got over 50 titles to his credit, but this skin does not appear on his wall. He'd love to get another crack at Johnny Archer waiting in the finals. And as Mark said, this is just a big-time opportunity to regain the rack he gave up in the first rack to Ralph Souquet. Cut, you hear the response from the crowd. A little bit of the shake of the head, so back and forth we go. We're tied here in Vegas. The EnjoyPool.com 9-ball championship is brought to you by the Billiard Congress of America, inviting everybody to enjoy pool. By Olhausen Billiards, America's favorite pool table. And by Simonis Cloth, since 1680, the cloth of champions. The key facts here in Las Vegas: Efren Reyes, Ralph Souquet in the semifinals, tied at 1. EnjoyPool.com 9-ball championship. The Billiard Congress of America has to be very proud of another fantastic event. This is the 8th year of this major championship event. Was called the BCA Open 9-ball championship. And now the EnjoyPool.com 9-ball championship. Let's all of you out there get all the facts you need about retailers, billiard rooms, certified instructors, site links, anything you want to know. EnjoyPool.com is the place to go.
Another terrific break by Efren, and you know, many times I've heard people criticize Efren's break as the weak part of his game, but it's not really weak. He has an above-average professional break. It's just that the rest of his parts of his game are so excellent that it seems like that is the weakest part. It is just a great aspect of his game.
It's interesting, though. You never really think about it. Relative to everything else, it might not be as strong, but
you can certainly see how square he's hitting them in the ball reaction. A lot of ball response.
2 balls on the break to 1 in the 6.
Played the bank shot on the 2. Skidded just a little bit long here in the new cloth, and looks like he's picked up a fortunate backdoor safety. And now Ralph is confronted with a kick shot. Efren's kind of credited with being the master of the kick shot, and has maybe taught Ralph a few lessons about this. And I know Ralph prides himself on being a student of the game. This shot, I kind of think that Ralph will try to kick the 2-ball into the corner pocket. 1 rail and soft speed. Yep. He's created some distance here. And he's going to be rewarded. That was a well-played shot. That was the way he played that.
And especially early in a tense, pressure-packed match, getting the speed down. Where you're leaving balls, where you're cue ball is going, all important.
Unforced errors tell the tale, Mitch. In the first 2 racks, we saw 2 unforced errors. Look at the speed. He held the cue ball well. Ralph's going to have the upper hand in this rack. He has a good offensive opportunity to run out. And you know, when the balls are distributed like this, if I had to have somebody get in here and run the balls out like this for my life, Ralph Souquet would be my man. If the balls were cluttered and messy, then I have to go with Efren Reyes.
It's a good way of looking at it. It kind of encapsulates these styles well. I hope it never, personally, I hope it never comes down to somebody having to shoot for your life, but they did. And you use those words so often around Ralph's game: precision and focus and mechanics. And he is just somebody who is so passionate about the sport and has been since he started playing at the age of 6 in Germany, born in Eschweiler, now living in Manching in Germany. And you heard his reaction right there. He does not like it. There's a good reason for it. Look at that, Mark.
At least sizing up the possibility of a kick shot or a jump shot. Looks like he may be able to go 1 cushion below the 8 this way. And if not, then it may be a jump shot. I'm pretty sure he preferred to play the rail first kick shot. Plays pretty well. The cloth is new, so it's a little bit slippery, so he's going to have to shoot a little further back from the object ball than normal. Very precise.
Nice.
Didn't even threaten to not go in. Didn't wipe its feet on the way into the pocket.
Well, the speed of that shot was so pretty to watch. A wealth of knowledge between these two. I don't know how you could get any more knowledge about cue sports between Ralph and Efren Reyes.
Ralph's mental strength and consistency makes him one of the absolute toughest guys to dominate out here, even if he's behind in the match. If you see him sitting in the chair, he's all focused. He's all keen for his next opportunity at the table, irrespective of how difficult the shot might be. He plays the shot with the stroke that he tries to use every single time. Very accurate with his cueing. Ralph is widely regarded as the player that possesses the smoothest transfer from backswing to foreswing. And when you watch him, you'll see body and head stay completely still throughout the delivery. Skidded just a little bit, the 8-ball twisted. That gives you a little thrill here when you're shaky to begin with.
As if you needed the thrills in the semifinals. Enough of them waiting to get to play Johnny Archer. Whoever will move on will have that chance. The title will be at stake. Ralph Souquet leads Efren Reyes by a rack. While we have a moment, we'd like to thank a couple more of our terrific supporters here at the EnjoyPool.com 9-Ball Championship for their beautiful cues. McDermott Cue Manufacturing for their fantastic furniture. Brunswick Billiards. The Riviera Hotel and Casino, site of the EnjoyPool.com 9-Ball Championship. Fantastic venue. All week long, 7,500 amateur players next door all week, playing in the 30th Annual Billiard Congress of America Pool League National 8-Ball Championships, and they have been filtering in and out, getting a chance to watch the best players in the world. 64 started the week. We're down to 3. Ralph Souquet, Efren Reyes, Johnny Archer left. And Ralph Souquet up 2-1 against Efren Reyes as we move into rack 4. Mitch Lawrence and Mark Wilson. And watch out for that cue ball. Yeah.
A very unfortunate kiss. He hit the balls well, stopped the cue ball on the center of the table. A couple object balls went in, but a couple came and kissed the cue ball. Here's a replay.
Keep your eye on it. Look at that twice.
And you might think, well, he might have mishit it because the cue ball went directly to the side. Ralph's probably playing that. He's playing the 1 ball on the side, and it's called a cut break. I think that's what we saw.
And 2 balls on the break by Ralph. And we have gone back and forth in the first 3 racks. Nobody able to hold serve. Picking up racks on the other player's break. And Mark, it looks like it might happen again in rack 4.
Well, Efren needs to recapture the break advantage in this match. And he could do so if he could clear up the table. Didn't try to do too much with that, just stun the ball out away from the cushion. This allows him to have a little cleaner access to the bottom of the cue ball. Tough conditions, the first match on the TV table here. Could have problems here. No, got by there.
Yeah. And you hear the reaction from the crowd. I mentioned that all these amateur players next door, a lot of knowledge about the game. And so when players hit good shots, miss a shot, most of the people here know what's going on, and they appreciate the brilliance of these players.
Big crowds all week long.
Here you go, the magician. Tying it up here in Las Vegas. Efren Reyes and Ralph Souquet, one of them trying to get to 7 and move on. You're watching the EnjoyPool.com 9-ball championship. Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action. Great names all. EnjoyPool.com, Efren Reyes, Ralph Souquet, and the Billiard Congress of America. All of them bringing you terrific action, semi-final action. The EnjoyPool.com 9-ball championship. Race to 7 to see who will meet Johnny Archer, seeded #1 and waiting undefeated in the finals for the winner of this match. 3 players left out of 64 that came to Vegas at the beginning of the week to chase what is a major title on tour. Formerly the BCA Open 9-ball championship, now the EnjoyPool.com 9-ball championship. And Mark, as we move into rack 7, tied at 3, nobody has won a rack on their own break. You predicted it was going to change in this rack,
Well,
and it still might.
predictions aren't a good thing to make on this program, but I got to tell you, you know, with Efren, if the racks are messy, it favors his style of play. He doesn't want a wide open fast break offense. He wants to do some play. If he gets 1 inning per rack that he comes to the table to influence the outcome, he'll win this match.
Pushes out after making a ball on the break.
Well, it's hard to see what Ralph has to work with here. It's probably not an offensive opportunity, but probably some type of a defensive shot. When we talk about 1 inning 9-ball, what that means is when they first get their first good offensive shot, they clear up the table. That's what makes these matches go pretty fast. Created distance, separation, and he's got a little impediment there. Now, we might see a jump shot. Efren seldom plays jump shots, but this might be the occasion. Looks like he's got a little bit of a gap there to work with.
Seldom plays them because
Well,
he's so good at kicking.
Well, that, and then he grew up playing rotation, and in rotation, they're illegal. You can't use a jump shot, so that's why he's excellent at kicking. He is getting his jump cue.
No jump cue.
He said no jump cue.
No jump cue.
He's getting his break cue to jump with, I guess. He's queuing up like he has enough.
I was going to say, does he have a window there?
No, I don't think. Yes, he does.
Watch out.
Well, the shot of the match, you notice the speed that he played. He had to turn the cue ball loose, and he knew that it was going to end up on the center of the table and probably hit some clutter. Here's our replay. There was a window. He hit the object ball with warp speed in an effort to try to get the cue ball to go up and back down the table, even if it hit some clutter. Unfortunately, he found a pocket. That's what we call turning the cue ball loose, and many times that's not the right shot, but in this case it was. It's just very unfortunate. Doesn't have to scratch. It just seems like it's Murphy's Law when things are going a little
Isn't that
rough for you.
amazing? It really is. So instead of staying at the table now, Ralph Souquet with ball in hand.
He has to play position for the 3-ball on the rail near the side pocket. These are the worst shots to deal with. Hard to play position from them and hard to play position on them. They're a long ways down to the pocket. You only have half a pocket when you approach the corner from this direction. Not a big problem for Ralph, but for those of us that don't play quite that well, tend to get a little fear on these. Long bridge, Slightly impeded by the 9-ball. Great speed.
Beautiful.
It released from the cushion just a little bit, but because of
Saw
the
it.
speed, the pocket was willing to accept a slightly errant struck ball. You know, getting here this week, Ralph, he had to win 63 racks and lost 52 of those, and that's playing at a 54% rate. Reyes won 75 racks, lost 55. That's a 57% win rate.
And the 9. And the 9.
Well, it was positioned from the 9 for the 5, just in case something didn't happen.
And just like that, lightning in rack number 7.
And the important thing is, look at
Beautiful.
how he played it off the 9 to get position for the 5.
And will this be what Ralph Souquet needs to establish some control in the match? He now leads Efren Reyes by a rack. And in rack 7 here in Las Vegas, a little bit of fireworks from Ralph Souquet to take a 1-rack lead as we move into rack 8, leading by 1 rack. Now over the magician, Efren Reyes. 2003 BCA Open 9-ball champion Ralph Souquet. He's got all the titles in his pocket. 96, the WPA World 9-ball champion. 2000 U.S. Open straight pool champion. 2002, the U.S. Open 9-ball champion, becoming the first European to win that. And in 2003, the BCA Open 9-ball championship. But he would like nothing more, look at this break, than to win another major championship. This is fantastic right now by Ralph Souquet, Mark.
Well, this is the Ralph Souquet patented power break. He didn't go to the side cushion this time. He just levied a big blow on him, and you can see the ball action he created. He's got a chance to run out and hold break. I think that might be the first time in this match, if it is. Just the kind of match that Ralph would like to play as a wide-open offensive slugfest. The 7's located near the side pocket on the cushion, and I'm not sure if he has the angle to hold the cue ball there real easily for it, or he has to try to play a position. One time the Hall of Famer Buddy Hall told me, Mark, don't play position when you have position. What that means is if you can just stop the cue ball and have a shot, play conservative and don't run the risk of letting the cue ball go awry. Certainly a challenging shot here. Down the rail, past the side pocket. This is the time he has to rely on his stroke technique. Real straight follow through, good speed.
Beautiful.
Made that look simple, Mitch. That was a tough shot. Not an impossible shot.
Well, you know what, though? And again, this goes back to technique and mastery of mechanics, because he does not, a lot of players, I think, you see, try to do way too much. If you watch the length of his backstroke, he's not doing, it looks like nothing. That goes left-handed.
Well,
Obviously plays that, but do you know what I mean, Mark? It's not, it's like watching a golfer with a big backswing too much compared to something that is really under control. And the follow-through is the acceleration is what it's all about.
Well, there's nothing left to chance with Ralph's game. He's trained himself.
And for the first time in this semifinal matchup, we have back-to-back racks. We have someone holding their own break, and it is now Ralph Souquet with a 2-rack lead. While we have a moment, it's time to learn a little bit about the great game. Here's our pro tip, brought to you by Bulldog.com, featuring the striking Viking, Ava Mattia Lawrence.
Playing 9-ball, obviously, it's since you have to hit the lowest number ball on the table first. There are certain times when just kicking the ball and hitting it gets the job done. But if you have a chance, watch this match, you'll see what's called a kick safe. This is actually a shot that Efren Reyes brought to the U.S. in the mid-'80s. And before that, yeah, we would kick at the ball and try to hit it. But now most players will either try to create something, either make the ball or play a safety. In this situation, obviously I can't hit the 1 ball, so I'm going to shoot the cue ball into the rail, trying to hit the 1 ball, stop the cue ball right there, and then send the 1 ball to this side of the table. like that. So next time, don't just try to hit the ball. Actually try to create something.
A very, very interested spectator, Johnny Archer, the Scorpion, who is waiting in the finals to play the winner of this matchup between Efren Reyes and Ralf Souquet. Johnny Archer has experience against both of these players.
Whoa.
3 left out of 64. It came to Las Vegas at the beginning of the week for the EnjoyPool.com 9-ball championship. Mitch Lawrence and Mark Wilson calling the action for you. And Efren Reyes needs to make something happen here. Down 3-5 in a race to 7.
Well, the 1 ball didn't cooperate as far as giving him an offensive opportunity, but he certainly will have a good chance to play a great defensive shot. Archer's not going to rely on a scouting report. He's going to get some first-hand information, I guess, sitting in the front row. We're looking to see Efren use a topspin shot and roll the cue ball up near the 6. Oh, he played it off the 6.
Off the 6.
Extremely knowledgeable shot. Look at the nice speed that he chose to use as well. Very confident. This is an artist at work. Ralph is a little bit more of a journeyman, and Efren's a little bit more finesse-oriented.
Again, we talk about it in a race to 7, a short race. Every shot's so key.
Look at the little spin, the dots on the cue ball, barely rotated. That's a kill shot, and that's played by hitting very low on the cue ball with a very loose grip, so you can minimize the amount of power, but yet maximize the volume of spin that you create. Efren seems to be staying down on the ball better right now, too. A lot of determination being expressed with this run out. Not that you would think of anything less, but I'm just saying both players, when they trail in the match, they don't crumble. They don't hesitate, and they don't try to win all the games back in one stroke of the cue.
But see, that's a good point, Mark, because so often you think you got to get out there and make something happen, and all you can make happen is 1 ball at a time and try to get this rack. Everything else is completely out of your control, and if you want to get it, this is the way to do it, with a break and run. And for the first 7 racks, we didn't have anybody do it, and now with Efren Reyes taking rack number 9 and getting back to within a rack on his own break, it has happened 2 racks in a row. A lot of great action here in Las Vegas. See the score? Ralf Souquet up 5-4, race to 7 to move into the finals at the EnjoyPool.com 9-ball championship. And as Ralph comes to the table, chance to get on the hill if he can get rack number 10 on his side. And he has experience beating Efren Reyes in final matchups. Certainly lost to him too, but 2004 at the Derby City 9-ball final, beating Efren. 2002 at the Whirlpool Masters final, huge event. And Mark, as we know in all sports, you build on your experience. And as great a player as Efren is, Ralph knows he can beat him in final and close to final matchups.
Well, in 2004, Efren had played a perfect match the round before to face Ralph, and Ralph went out and played 2 matches consecutively, beating Efren 7-1 both times, where he made only 1 mistake against that. So absolutely no fear of Efren. He goes out there, he leaves nothing to chance. He choreographs every move. When you see him sit in the chair, to the pace that he walks to the table, it's all planned.
I don't know why we think of anything less being important. Because no matter what sport you're playing, or anything in life for that matter, forget sports, but no matter what you're doing, the more specific you are, the better the results are going to be, period.
Well, Ralph realized that. Yeah, he's kind of got that German engineering behind him, you know, the precision of the Mercedes-Benz and the Ralf Souquet. Managing the balls nicely, picking up perfect angles, good speeds. Comes over, determines what type of shot he's going to use in his pre-shot routine, bends over, and then totally committed to executing that stroke. You know, when Ralph bends over to shoot, there's nothing in life more important to him at that moment than that stroke. he's going to create the perfect stroke. And he gets consistent results with that method. It's really neat to hear the cue strike the cue ball. You hear these vibrant tones that amateur players don't hear because they squeeze the cue so firmly. It thuds and adds 10 foot-pounds of muscle to that, so they don't generate the spin volumes these guys do.
So grip pressure, obviously important.
Very much so. You tend to start squeezing as you accelerate forward. A great stroke is nothing but a real smooth, flowing, throwing motion.
You're getting a really, really good chance to watch the perfection of how Ralf Souquet plays when he's at the top of his game. Started playing very early in life. In his parents' pub, played 5 hours a day for 8 years when he started after age 6. 14, won his first junior championship. At 21 was the European Player of the Year, and said he was fascinated by the balls from the very start. It just engaged every cell in his body. And here he is at 37, having put on millions and millions of miles, literally, around the world.
He had to accept a little less than ideal position for the 9-ball because it made the other shot, the cut across the handrail, play too tricky. So he just accepted it, played a good angle, and just trusted his stroke.
And the result, the hill first for Ralf Souquet, 1 rack away from moving on. Let's take a look at some of our other top finishes brought to you by Simonis Cloth. Among some great names this week, a fantastic one for Pei Wei Chang, Chinese Taipei, the 2004 World 9-Ball Championship runner-up. A great week in Las Vegas. As we move into rack 11 here in Las Vegas, Ralf Souquet on the hill at 6'4". And we had a very, very good view, Mark Wilson, of what makes this guy so special as a player.
Look at this smooth follow through, head still, remaining down, and watch the tip after it finishes through the cue ball. Body stays still, elbow stationary, and that is the World Championship stroke.
Perfect technique, and look at how calm and totally collected Ralf Souquet looks. Well, he should. 6'4", in control against the legendary, literally, there is no other way to put it, Efren Reyes, already in the Billiard Congress of America Hall of Fame.
Great break. Look at the cue ball just die out there. In pool vernacular, they call that squatting whitey, stopping the cue ball in the middle of the table, diminishing the possibilities that something negative will happen.
2 balls on the break for Efren.
Not sure if that's a 2-ball hanging over the corner pocket, but if it is, it's a great offensive opportunity to get back in this match. When you look at Efren, you look at the guy that if you had a heart rate monitor on him, even though he's now right on the cusp of possibly losing the match, wouldn't register any differently than if he was just walking around with his friends. Very calm, very collected.
How many times in this great career has he bent over, sighted the cue ball?
Nicely played, pretty shot. Confidently striding around the table while the cue ball is getting to the perfect location. And he does seem to be staying down over the balls better than he has in earlier matches during this tournament where he's struggled a bit. And he took a deep breath there, so I guess he is feeling the pressure a little. And you know, even the most mundane of runouts still requires complete focus and attention. That's why it's not a good idea to give balls away to your opponent, because it does bleed off energy that ultimately may cost them a ball late in the match. You know, not an optimum angle. And he's laughing a little bit. He knows he's played himself a little bit out of line. He let up a hair there.
That's what you're talking about, just a hair, a second of looseness. And all of a sudden, you got to come with something different and a little special. Fully capable of doing that is Efren Reyes, but you do not want to work that hard when your opponent is on the hill. But the bottom line is in the column in rack 11. Efren Reyes gets one back, pulls to within a rack, but Ralf Souquet's fate is in his own hands, moving to rack 12. The Scorpion, Johnny Archer, the 2000 BCA Open 9-ball champion. He would like to add another one to his belt, as would Ralf Souquet, who won in 2003. Efren Reyes without a BCA Open 9-ball championship. To his credit, amazingly, the more than 50 titles Efren owns, this is not one of them, and he would like it badly. Ralf Souquet will do everything in his power to try to prevent him from getting to the finals against Johnny Archer. Johnny waiting undefeated. And Ralf Souquet up 6-5 now, raised to 7. Solid break, cue ball getting kicked around.
Well, Ralph knows he needs to win this game or become the underdog in the final game when Efren has the break. That's how big that lag is to begin with.
This is a messy, messy table here, Mark.
Ralph has surveyed it. He does have a cross-corner bank. This is one of the first racks we've seen where there's quite a bit to talk about. He's got the 1 ball if he likes to play across corner. I'm not sure if the 2-8 would billiard in off the 6 ball, but that cluster over there certainly presents a problem, and the 1 bank might even loosen it up a little bit. I see now that the 8 won't go. So it's probably going to be a defensive shot, very thin, try to get the cue ball underneath the stack. And he said he rushed it. And guess what? Efren has a chance to run out here. This is where the master's at work. He's coming over to take a look at it. Even though the 1 ball goes into the pocket, he's not sure if the 6 is a problem. If he has to use a half mass A, no, I think he can go right straight at it. So ball speed is simply the problem now. He will make this look simple, not just because it's easy to pocket the ball, but because the cue ball position is so important. He had to negotiate the 9 ball there. He certainly doesn't want that object ball to become an impediment here. It looks like it might have affected his ability to hit the cue ball just a little bit. Now the pockets are very slick right now. The cloth is brand new, so he's got quite a bit of leeway if it's not perfectly aligned with the pocket, provided he uses soft speed. What kind of a shot? That was the winning shot if the 2 goes in the corner, which it appears that it does.
And now, Mark, I think critical that Efren really stay down now and play his shots, because we have seen him miss. We've talked about it, shots that we ordinarily wouldn't have. So this is a huge, huge factor, trying to get even and on the hill himself, and with the break in rack 13.
Well, it's all in his control right now, and I've seen him come back from all kinds of depths before. Hello, 5 ball. Let's bump that a little bit. We have clearance. Houston, we almost had a problem.
You heard him let out a little sigh of relief there. And again, if you missed us talking about it earlier, Mark just mentioned some escapes from being down a number of racks, and he was just down 2 racks to Ralf Souquet in this match, but Efren down by 10-1 in a race to 11 against Alan Hopkins earlier this week, and came back, put 10 racks together, and won that match 11-10 in the second round.
Here's an interesting thing. Pro players normally play to get the cue ball just past the side pocket, leaving them a 2-cushion route after the cue ball hits the 9 ball. So this will be a 1-cushion position now. Just drag it up by the side pocket, 1 cushion and out. And then, ooh, he caught it a little bit low, and he's going to be a little close to the rail. This was not optimum. And you can hear he almost dropped his cue. You can hear the tone vibrate through the earpiece here. Very loose grip, stay down. Finish your stroke.
And when you've got 2 great players, one thing you can be sure of is there's a good chance that it's going to be an even match. It does not get more even than this. We have 1 rack left, and after it, one of these 2 players will move to the finals. The EnjoyPool.com 9-Ball Championship is brought to you by BulldogG.com. Your billiard supplies are just a click away. By McDermott Cubes, or Light. And by the Billiard Education Foundation, supporting the education of young pool players. Crowd totally into it now, and if you can't get into it now, something definitely wrong. Race to 7. Efren Reyes-Ralf Souquet, the EnjoyPool.com 9-Ball Championship, formerly the Billiard Congress of America Open 9-Ball Championship. It is a major event, no matter what you call it. And one rack away. Efren Reyes had won the lag, had the break in rack number 1, and as a result, the break in rack 13. If you tie it up, and indeed, we are tied. Mitch Lawrence and Mark Wilson here at the Riviera Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. It has been everything that we thought. Great shot making, good strategy, tense, tight, and again, one rack away from somebody moving to the finals against Johnny Archer.
A very focused break, and you notice how he really played the cue ball. That wasn't an all-out break to make balls. That was a break to not allow something detrimental to happen on the break shot.
But he is definitely upset, Mark.
Well, he's upset to the extent that it's not an easy out.
No, I know.
He's thrilled he made a ball, and when he can hit the one ball, even though he's a little bit impeded by the object ball, he's asking if it's any ball foul, which it's not. Cue ball fouls only.
Concerned because the cue ball is so close right there. You see it, Mark?
Yes, I do. And he may choose to not play the combination because it's pretty risky, and especially with this object ball. Or he may go all day. Wow. 8-ball looks pretty good. Combinations are a big part of rotation, and that's his field of excellence. Well, he missed it.
When he slammed that cue, you very rarely see that kind of display of emotion from Efren. When he slammed that cue down after the break, you knew that he was very, very bothered by the fact that he did not have a clear shot on the one. Obviously, he could get to it, but it wasn't what he wanted. Now the question is, will Ralf Souquet be able to take advantage? Both players with 2 extensions in this rack at Hill Hill.
The way Ralph looks at it, looks like the one ball goes. If that's the case, it's just a matter of staying in line.
There you go.
Collect this match. Both these players mentally prepare for this final game and in their method of operation, so it's not one of these things that's kind of fight or flight syndrome when they get here. Certainly both are nervous, and when you're nervous, you have to rely on your stroke technique. You cannot become too involved in the moment, thinking future tense about what will or what won't happen if we miss or make.
Well, here's where I look at Ralph, and it's interesting to me because he looks no different right now than he did in rack 3. Walking around the table, very calm, surveying everything, taking his own time. Doesn't seem either rushed, taking too much time. And if you're going to rely on a technique, it's like you said, this is a great technique to rely on. As we look at Efren, will this be the key shot of this match?
Well, there you saw his cue go off to the side like we've seen a few times this week. Steering them we're generally accustomed to seeing with Efren. Stun, a bit of right-hand English. Now he played the shot just a little bit longer than he would have liked had he had a little more angle to work with. He had to create that angle. You can just get the cue ball away from the cushion just a little bit, that would be great. I think we're going to see minimum speed, though. Well, he was able to draw back. He may have to play a combination shot himself, Mitch.
Oh, boy.
You heard him. Oh, boy is right. And that 8 playing a huge part in this rack from the opening when Efren missed it, the combination, to this point.
When you're a little bit nervous, you want to let out your stroke a little bit, and he caught that a little bit too purely, and that's what created the extra spin that he's not accustomed to. Soft speed, though, no problem for Ralph. Skidded a little bit. Skidded a little bit.
Watch out. Oh. And you know what was amazing about that? We had a lot of time to watch whether or not that ball was going to go. Great angle. And he's going to have to get back for that 9.
Looks like he may be able to just slide a little better or even stop. Yeah, he's just going to accept a stop shot here.
It's all going to come down to the technique we were talking about. One ball left for Ralph Souquet to move into the finals.
His pace walking around the table really hasn't changed either. Very collected. We're going to see another great quality stroke, make or miss.
Two great players going after each other, and you can bet that Ralph Souquet is relieved to walk away from the great Efren Reyes by 1 rack and have another chance at his second EnjoyPool.com title. Fantastic victory, and Efren Reyes has to be, once again, supremely disappointed to not be able to pick up a title he desperately covets. Wow, what a match. It is now time for our super shot of the match, brought to you courtesy of McDermott Q Manufacturing. Ralph Souquet at the table, rack 7. We're tied at 3. We did not pay a whole lot of attention because Ralph has been moving methodically through rack 7. As he looks at the 4, you'll notice the 9 close by. Watch Ralph's eyes. Played it all the way. And as that 9 went, for the first time, he moved in front 4-3. Went on to beat Efren Reyes 7-6 to move into the finals, where he will face Johnny Archer. We're glad you've been with us here in Las Vegas. For Mark Wilson, I am Mitch Lawrence. Accommodations have been provided by the Riviera Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Great names and games in men's championship 9-ball collide. Chasing a major trophy and title, both have won before. Ralph Souquet, the Kaiser from Manching in Germany. Johnny Archer, the Scorpion from Marietta in Georgia. World beaters both, champions both. Who will add another notch to a crowded championship belt? The answer takes shape now. From the Riviera Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, it's the finals of the EnjoyPool.com 9-ball championship. Hello, everybody. Welcome, as always, to Las Vegas and the EnjoyPool.com 9-ball championship for 7 years, called the BCA Open 9-ball championship. Mitch Lawrence, joined by Mark Wilson today. Even though we call it by a different name, it is one of the most important and prestigious events on tour. And fittingly, we have 2 tremendous players. A simple match to me, just going to be who performs better today.
Well, Mitch, the breakdown of the match is this. Ralph Souquet holds an edge in consistency and is very tough in close matches. Johnny Archer, on the other hand, has a patented power game, and his break and run out of offense often sets a blistering pace. This figures to be a great match.
And what a thrill it is to be here in Vegas, the Riviera Hotel. Both of these players know what it means to be in this position. Both of them have one of these at home, championship trophy. This year, though, they will play for a second one, now called the EnjoyPool.com 9-ball championship. The ones they have, say BCA Open 9-ball champion, Johnny Archer from 2000, Ralph Souquet from 2003. And Mark, definitely one of the strongest fields of the year. International greats from every place you can think of where Q Sports are played have been here this week. After 64 came, we are down to 2. And we'll be talking about this aspect of Johnny Archer's game a lot, the opening break.
Johnny's got a secret going on this week. He's broken around many racks. He's found a little niche in the racking of the balls that allows him to pocket balls and pick up a shot. And you can see he didn't use a whole lot of speed there. Earlier today, he was in the practice room conferring with Corey Deuel about the nuances of breaking. And he wouldn't reveal the exact secret, or I'd reveal it to the listeners.
Close to the vest. Taking a good, hard, long look at what he wants to do here. As he takes his extension, I'm going to quickly give you the rules of the game. It's a race to 7 for the title. They will alternate the break. 30-second shot clock and 1 extension per rack on the players, and it will be cue ball fouls only.
One of Johnny's strengths is that he's an aggressive and decisive shot maker. Once he figures out what he's going to do, he goes all out for it, and he doesn't fear missing. He delivers his stick without any ambiguity. He was attempting a billiard.
Cue ball almost stopped behind the 9, but rolled past it, and Ralf Souquet will come to the table for his opening shot.
He'll either have a testy cut down into the corner pocket, or perhaps, and more likely, a safety play.
Both of these players so knowledgeable about every aspect of the game. It's what makes it fun to watch them go after each other here.
Neither shot is easy, the offensive or the defensive shot. Maybe he can cut this ball back into the side. Apparently not. Safety, 2-rail safety. Lay the 1 ball on the end rail and get some distance with the cue ball. Well executed. Johnny's offered up an opportunity at another billiard shot.
I'm gonna play the billiard. Okay, thanks.
Oh, he's got a billiard shot on the. Is that the 5 ball? Right next to the 1, yeah. He's forewarned the referee. Made a good hit.
Well, Steve Tipton, the referee. Johnny told him before, and that's what he wanted to do. Obviously, those balls very close together. Watching for contact on the correct ball in rotation. Scorpion still at the table. Now a much more open play on the 1.
Long, tough shot. This represents the winning shot of the rack. He got through that easily.
As he moves around from above, let's see, 5 balls left on the table. So important in a race to 7 to get out early. Put some pressure on your opponent as he moves around. You see there the beautiful waterfall table by Olhausen. Give you this great playing equipment. Simona's 860 cloth on the waterfall table. Super Aramith Pro balls being pocketed by Johnny Archer. Sardo M5000 tight rack in use. And Masters chalk provided by Tweet and Fiber. We thank all of them for their support of the EnjoyPool.com 9-ball championship. And Mark, Johnny's got to feel good right now. Opening rack on his break to get it in his column.
Well, he's a fast break offense type player, and if he gets out in front of you and the break continues to work,
It's already better
difficult.
than last year.
Very difficult.
There's an easy reference to talk about. Last year, it moved undefeated into the finals of this tournament, and Torsten Holman took him to task 7-0. So Johnny's reference to getting 1 on the board, doing better than last year, is absolutely correct. Got to be feeling good up by a rack here in Vegas. The EnjoyPool.com 9-ball championship is brought to you by the Billiard Congress of America, inviting everybody to enjoy pool. By Olhausen Billiards, America's favorite pool table. And by Simona's Cloth, since 1680, the cloth of champions. We'll take a look now at a few of our official products here at the EnjoyPool.com 9-ball championships. Masters chalk in use all week here in Las Vegas, as is the Sardo Tight Rack M5000 and Super Aramith Pro balls. Part of the fantastic outpouring of pool supporters that have been here all week in Las Vegas, right next door for the 30th annual BCA Pool League National 8-ball championships, 7,500 players. And it has been nothing, Mark, but a pool fest all week here. Talking about it, playing it, and getting to see the best players in the world. 2 left, Johnny Archer and Ralf Souquet, of the 64 that came from all corners of the planet to try to claim this title. We say again, both of them own one of these and would like nothing more than to add a second one to the trophy collection.
Well, everyone in attendance here has the Ernie Banks attitude. If it's a beautiful day to play 2, Mitch. Archer set the break. Not overdoing it on the break. Just playing a center ball, stun, stop, hit. Wing ball shot right in.
And again, 2 balls on the break in the first 3 racks. 2 balls on the break.
He's got the 1 ball, and I'm not sure if that's a 2 ball next to the 1 ball or not. Yes, it is. Now, if the 2 is available to go here into the side pocket, that might be one option. The other option might be to go forward and come up here, either to play the 2 ball back into this side pocket or the 2 ball down to this corner pocket over here. Oh, he can play the 2 ball back into the same pocket he's playing the 1, I think.
Took his extension.
Well, this is the crucial shot of the rack. Top spin to the inside, English. He'll be able to play it back in the same pocket he anticipates playing the 3 ball. Desperate to get the angle this time with the cue ball back in the center of the table so he can play the 3 ball into the corner pocket where he's playing the 2 and hit the side cushion and bank across the table for the 5 ball next. Got just a little stiff on this ball. This is a little bit too straight, so he's gonna have to power up. I think we're gonna see a top spin shot now with a little bit of English and try to get over into here. The other shot was to come across the table and settle for this out here. You know, he tried to stun, stop, spide across, and got a little bit tougher shot than he would have liked. Not an overwhelming challenge for the likes of Johnny Archer, but nonetheless, there's some work to be done. Speed must be correct. Does not want to jeopardize falling behind the 8 ball. Nice shot. Shows a nice aggressive speed, and Mitch, there's a little more area there that he fell into than you think, because if you go just a little bit firm and go all the way to the cushion that he last hit, you got about another foot of area that you can bound back into. That gives you about 3 feet of margin of error on that shot speed-wise. Well, finally, he's in dead line now. This will just be a soft rolling ball hit. Drift down 2 or 3 feet. We're going to get another break and run out.
And this is what we're hoping for from both of these players. Give it your best shot and see who's left standing at the end of the day. Ralf Souquet down by a rack again to Johnny Archer. While we have a moment, we'd like to thank a couple more of our terrific supporters here at the EnjoyPool.com 9-Ball Championship for their beautiful cues. McDermott Cue Manufacturing for their fantastic furniture. Brunswick Billiards. All the pertinent information here at the finals of the EnjoyPool.com 9-Ball Championship, formerly the BCA Open 9-Ball Championship. Johnny Archer and Ralf Souquet, the Scorpion, leading the Kaiser 2-1. Johnny will stay seated as Ralph gets up to break in rack 4. The last couple of racks, break and runs by both players. It's been a tough, tight match so far. What we expected of 2 veteran champions. And Mark Wilson, you and I were talking earlier about how both of these players certainly deserve Hall of Fame status and what they've won. Every major title, what they have done for the game around the world. There's not any area that you could look at that, by those standards, they don't deserve to get in, and someday they will.
Well, I completely agree, Mitch. It's very apparent both players are going to be in the Hall of Fame. Really, there's not even going to be a loser today. We're going to have both players win. It's just one of them's going to run out of time. Ralph let the cue ball get away from him just a little bit on the break, but picked up a couple fortunate kisses this time. He has a very manageable layout. You notice he takes his time on this opening shot because he knows this establishes the rest of the run out. Try to travel the cue ball just straight across the table. That's good position. Would have liked to have gone just an inch or two further for control's sake. Still very manageable.
As we watch Ralph here, you and I talk, and I know you're a big fan of not only Ralph's technique and the mechanics of his stroke, but his whole training regimen and the way he approaches the game.
Well, he coordinates everything and choreographs it. He leaves nothing to chance in his training. I think he even practices the way he strides from his chair to the table. He anticipates being behind in the match in his response. He anticipates having a difficult lie, make a tough shot, concentrates on the stroke. Every molecule of his body is devoted to winning the next game. And this is a new breed of pool player.
As the game grows and the demands of travel are so great, what it does to your body, you think a lot of people think that just walking around the table and hitting some balls does not require physical conditioning. Not true at all. Those of you at home who might just play casually, try putting in 6 or 8 hours a day of practice on top of traveling around the world, and you'll know you have to be in shape to do it. But equally as important, Mark, I think you hit on something too, and that's the mental, the focus, the clarity of mind to be able to see patterns and then to execute them physically. It's a big deal for both these players. Johnny Archer practicing more now, so as he gets older, he realizes he needs to practice. And Ralph certainly, as you said, a great example of how billiards has come into the modern age right now. And I love the way both players are reacting to the pressure of what the other player's doing. We have alternated the first 4 racks here in Las Vegas. Final matchup between 2 tremendous players. We are tied. You're watching the EnjoyPool.com 9-ball championship. Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action. The setting, a great one. The Riviera Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, the final. The EnjoyPool.com 9-ball championship. Terrific matchup, as we expected, between Ralph Souquet at the table, leading 4-3 over Johnny Archer. And that look tells all right there. How important is this? It's a major event on tour. Formerly the BCA Open 9-ball championship, now the EnjoyPool.com 9-ball championship. Mitch Lawrence and Mark Wilson eagerly watching this match proceed.
Well, Johnny just got through a very tough rack where it was kind of a gritty shot-making performance, and Ralph has broken, ran out the last 3 times at the table. Mitch, this is world-class 9-ball at its best. The very reason I was excited to watch this final match, because I assumed that they would play like this. Looks like he has a shot on the 1 ball. Once again, he's using his methodical pace as kind of the hare and the tortoise here. You know, Ralph's absolute strength when you're watching this is his transfer from backswing to foreswing. If you ever watch it, it's very smooth. Many amateurs use a very jerky and quick backswing transfer. It diminishes your accuracy. Doesn't mean you miss every shot, but you cannot maintain consistency with that.
Both these players have been so consistent over the years. That's one of the great strengths. Oh, first bauble right there.
He used a little bit of right-hand English to give himself some speed to get down on the next ball, but that deflected a little more than anticipated. And that was really the first time that we saw the backswing get just a little bit quick. It's right after I mentioned it, Mitch. First falter.
And very disappointed. You see Ralph there. Body language can tell so much. He has been very, very cool till that moment. And Johnny Archer out of his chair quickly because he obviously happy that he is at the table. He'll try to tie this match up now.
Huge shot here. Very difficult shot, but I know Johnny's glad to have it, and it feels a little bit easier just because he didn't expect to get presented with a good opportunity to win this rack. Johnny attacks the center of the pocket without fear of missing, and for anyone watching at home, incorporate that into your game as well. Don't be afraid to miss, but be afraid to make a poor quality swing. What a shot. What a shot.
Come on, come on.
Oh, momentum to switch sides, Mitch.
Absolutely.
Johnny forced this to happen by getting through that tough rack last time, and now coming up with a big shot in this rack.
And that little right there was just kind of a capsule of the difference between these two players. Johnny, an emotional player, gets upset when he misses, lets you know about it, likes when he hits a good shot. He'll yell at balls, try to get him moving around the table.
Does that work, Mitch?
I've tried it. It doesn't work for me, but for Johnny, yes.
You
But
know
my
what?
point being that Ralph is a much more composed player. When you saw him sit in his chair and look up for a second, that's about as much as you're going to get out of Ralph. And Johnny, the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah, right now Ralph is in deep focus for his next offensive opportunity. When Johnny lets those emotional outbursts go, it's just a way of blowing off a little energy so he can compose himself to get through another good run out. Easy to get too amped up here. Let your emotions get away from you if you don't.
In this kind of competition with these players, it's very, very easy to see, especially in a short race, where one mistake will just turn everything around. And that's what happened as soon as Ralph missed the two. As Mark said, after a really, really good gutsy rack by Johnny in the previous rack, everything has seemed to switch. A little bit of work left to do on this 9. But no problem for the player of the decade in the 90s. One of the great shot makers of all time, Johnny Archer and Ralph Souquet, deadlocked here in the desert. Beautiful diamond shape of the 9-ball rack. So familiar to anyone who loves the game. Two of the biggest and best names in the sport. Tied at 4 in the race to 7 as we move into rack 8. Rack 9, sorry, here in the desert of Las Vegas, the Riviera Hotel and Casino. EnjoyPool.com 9-ball championship put on by the Billiard Congress of America. Amidst a week of fantastic work, not just in this event and the women's event that have been here, but the work for the Billiard Education Foundation, charitable arm of the Billiard Congress of America, which is completely dedicated to developing tomorrow's leaders, great players, through any number of educational programs and scholarships. If you want to find out about that, go to billiardeducation.org. Very worthwhile. Johnny Archer now. Rack number 9. Rack number 8, for the first time, Ralph Souquet did not get out on his break. Paid the price as Johnny tied it up.
He Brooklyn sided it again. Let's get good results.
He's checking to see if that one will pass in the corner.
He looked a little dejected, but sometimes he's prone to be a little bit dramatic. I think it does go.
It does.
As a matter of fact.
I think that's why he, once he saw that it did, he quickly went back and got his cue and said, all right, let me get to it now. 2 balls on the break for the Scorpion.
Well, it's tight, and he wants to make sure and not make a mistake with this shot. This is a big juncture of the match. Yeah, there's definitely a half a pocket, maybe 3/4 of a pocket. The key to this shot is to make up your mind about it and not fear the 4-ball. If you're thinking about the 4-ball when you deliver the stroke, it's almost like a magnet as far as pulling the 1-ball into the 4. Just be totally committed to hitting your point on the 1-ball with a good quality swing. This really isn't even a light snack for Johnny as far as the test of difficulty. And he's gone a little far, now he's pretty straight in again.
Heard him asking for it to stop, and that is why.
The 2-ball plays so close to the side pocket, he'll have quite a bit of latitude as far as cheating the pocket to create an angle, but you really hate to risk it. Diminishes your margin of error quite a bit. Hit to the right side of the pocket to create the angle. Now the 4-ball down in the corner pocket, and the 6-ball along the side rail. We'd like to come all the way across the table over where his hand is at now.
Shot.
Proper angle. And this is not a one cushion position. Usually this is a two cushion position. Probably going to see him go off the 4 ball and off this rail. I don't want to be straight in if you can help it.
He's a tall player, a definite advantage for Johnny Archer, leaning out. Very, very comfortable.
Johnny's one of the few great tall players, and when you're a tall player, that means you have a long wingspan and makes accuracy more of a challenge than it does seem to be for the shorter players. It gives you an advantage in reach, but you lose a little bit on your shot making. Archer does a little cloth maintenance there, usually part of his pre-shot routine. We're going to see another break and run out.
My, how things have changed over the last few minutes.
Wonder if these guys don't know about defense.
Saw that little chug of the cue by Johnny Archer, rack 9 in his column, and now a 1 rack lead, trying to get to 7. Let's take a look at some of our other top finishers, brought to you by Simonis Cloth. Does experience pay off this week in Las Vegas? Definitely. 4 former BCA champions among the top 12. Charlie Williams, Tony Robles, Corey Doolin, Torsten Homan. Another good week in Las Vegas. Inside the Riviera Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, the finals of the EnjoyPool.com 9-ball championship. Johnny Archer has taken the lead at 5-4 from Ralph Souquet, race to 7 for the title. Both players playing very, very well. Ralph Souquet in rack number 8, a big miss on the 2. Gave Johnny that rack, and then a break and run in rack 9. We've had 5 racks of break and run. Very, very high level of play, as we expect from 2 of the greats in the game. See if Ralph can answer.
Look at that square hit. And you didn't see any lateral spin on the cue ball that time.
Wow. Wow. How about 4 balls on the break, Mark?
Yeah, these guys are pretty adept at playing 5-ball runouts when they're all wide open like this. There's not even anything to tell straight, Mitch.
But what I mean is, what an answer when Johnny's just done what he's done. And you step up to the table, great veteran play, break like that.
Ralph did not concern himself about what his opponent's doing. What's happened here? Ooh. Well, second mistake of the match here, and he's going to have to become an intense shot maker. Get through this. He's going to have to elevate over the 3, and we all hate that. Greatly hampers your accuracy and also greatly diminishes what you can do with the cue ball. Now, you want to be as flat as you possibly can. You just want to elevate just slightly for accuracy's sake. Soft speed.
Beautiful.
Well, he made that look easy. That was much more difficult than you think, than you maybe saw it to look. Now he's going to be a shot maker once again. This is when that big, long, flowing exchange from backswing to foreswing really comes into play. If you jerk that at all, it's easy to miss this pocket because it's a fairly small pocket. Here you get a good shot of the backswing that I talked about. Very smooth. Head stays still, stays down, finishes his stroke. This is like textbook technique. Takes a little break here and collects himself. He's not worried about this shot. He just wants to give himself full energy to concentrate through it. Good, a little wide. One minor heart palpitation occurred there briefly for him. Now he's right back into his game.
But the bottom line, 9 balls started that rack. All of them down. Ralf Souquet with a break and run in rack 10. And once again, we are tied. The EnjoyPool.com 9-Ball Championship is brought to you by PoolDog.com. Your billiard supplies are just a click away. By McDermott Cubes for life. And by the Billiard Education Foundation, supporting the education of young pool players. .65 Ralf Souquet, the Kaiser over the Scorpion, Johnny Archer. EnjoyPool.com 9-Ball Championship here in Las Vegas. That pretty much says it all right there. Just hoping for another chance at the table because rack number 12, break belongs to Ralf Souquet. Last time he was here, rack number 10, 4 balls on the break on his way to running out. And Mark, we have talked often about the break in this match between these two. Ralf Souquet would like nothing more to not let Johnny Archer get up out of that seat.
Yeah, this has been wide open offense on both sides, and I guess right now the way it stands, if one of them would ever play a safety, that could be the super shot of the match, just to say that there was one. Well, he ramped up the power on the break there a little bit, got across the face of the 1 ball. Created some separation between the cue ball and the 1 ball. Ralph now evaluating what the best percentage play is here. Guess we're gonna get to see a safety finally. That, however, will not be easy. But he may try, and it's dangerous to try to bank the 1 ball down here and allow the cue ball just to trickle up in here. But if that clips the 9 ball on its way past, it could be problematic. This is just going to be a straight back. No, he did try to play that shot.
He's watching. And 1 time is right because that may be all he needs.
Incredible shot.
What interested me about this, Mark, was that he got a warning on his time but chose not to take an extension. Got down quickly over it. Came with that shot.
It was a distasteful shot, but he didn't have an option. Boy, he's really in rhythm. Yep. Very smooth, very fluid, moving around the table.
That will just take it out of you. If you're Johnny Archer and you're watching that play, you think there is just a breath of a chance that you're getting back to the table somehow.
Yeah, that dashed any kind of a glimmer of hope unless Ralph falters. And relying on Ralph faltering, you may have a beard down to your belly. Seldom happens. This guy is a machine.
A decade ago in '96, Ralf Souquet won the WPA World 9-Ball Championship. Followed it with victories at the U.S. Open Straight Pool Championship, U.S. Open 9-Ball Championship, becoming the first European to win that. Victories at the World Pool Masters, every big event you can think of, including the 2003 BCA Open. Ralf Souquet has put his name on that trophy.
Got just a little quick on that last shot. I think the nerves, he's feeling a little bit of the pressure there. He's got one big obstacle to negotiate, and that's the transfer from the 7 ball to the 8 ball. 8 ball's laying on the cushion near the side pocket. Decided how he's going to play it.
You know, a lot is to be said about Ralf Souquet. I talked to him once, Mark, and asked him about all these titles that he's won and traveling the world and everything else. And the thing I think he might be most proud of, he's had a lot of firsts in his life, but in '97 he got the Silver Laurel Leaf, which is the highest honor in German sports that you can get.
Nice speed control because they had to hit a 3/4 full ball. So that took a little play. Now he's presented with a down the rail 8-ball. Only a half a pocket. Anytime you go across the rail, there's only a half a pocket you can hit, so very little margin of error. The soft speed will help make the pocket play big, but still requires good execution.
Boy,
He hit it a little fat. He
you
knew
can
it.
hear it.
Yeah.
You can hear it. But all that remains is to let out that air and make this 9 for the title.
Yeah!
We have seen that out of Ralph Souquet a few times. Normally so staid, so quiet, so composed. But he has said nothing great has ever been achieved without enthusiasm. Do not mistake Ralph Souquet for someone who does not care about these titles. The champion here in Las Vegas, Ralph Souquet.
Thank you.
Now it's time for a super shot of the match, brought to you by the good folks at McDermott Q Manufacturing. If you are Ralph Souquet, this is the super shot you'll remember for a long time. In a tight, tough match against Johnny Archer when you're on the hill, presented with this shot after the break, and you take care of business the way Ralph Souquet does, this is the one that leads you to a championship trophy. And as this week in Las Vegas here at the Riviera Hotel and Casino comes to a close, the trophy presentation, a smiling but definitely disappointed Johnny Archer for the second year in a row, runner-up here in Las Vegas. Fantastic week, and we congratulate him for another great showing. We know we will see Johnny Archer around. Steve Tipton, tournament director. Steve Dukoff, the executive director of the Billiard Congress of America, and Greg Hovey, the president of Olhausen, about to present the championship trophy to that man, the Kaiser, Ralph Souquet of Germany, for the second time in his career, taking home this most prestigious of trophies. And fittingly, Steve Dukoff giving him the check. We thank him and Amy Long for all they've done. We're glad you've been with us here in Las Vegas. For Mark Wilson, I am Mitch Lawrence. Accommodations have been provided by the Riviera Hotel and Casino. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Congratulations to Ralph Souquet.